Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to all of our witnesses for being here. I think it's a very constructive conversation we're having. And I also, in particular, want to thank Mr. Pike for being here. I'm so appreciative of the Governor Baker's support and his administration's support for offshore wind energy and renewable energy in general, and I thank you for making the trip here to testify. And you referenced the Clean Energy Center's offshore wind workforce assessment study, and I'm just curious if you could talk about what were the primary workforce training needs in Massachusetts that you identified in order to support this growing industry offshore.
Certainly, happy to. So I did allude to a few of them in my prior testimony, but we found that there are three primary areas of need. One is water transportation workers, one is the trades, and one is operation and maintenance. Now, those cut across some pretty broad swaths, but those are the areas where we will certainly initially focus our efforts. The types of programs are health and safety training, occupation skills training as well, and these types of facilities that are going to be needed. I think a good example is one that we've worked with the Massachusetts Maritime Academy on over the last couple of years, where they are building a training platform and facility for water transit. So when the vessel comes into the turbine, the most dangerous part of the job is exiting the water transit vessel and getting onto the turbine itself. So we're setting up a facility down in Buzzards Bay where all U.S. workers, but particularly those in Massachusetts, will be able to train for those movements. And it's that kind of physical facility that will be required, as well as the curriculum that MMA is developing around those training modules as well.
And how would federal funding for a grant program such as this one help you? Does it supplement or bring funds to the effort that you don't get through the private sector or that the state can put forth?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, quite frankly, our funding is a drop in the bucket, I think, as to what is needed. We're about to issue a solicitation, a request for proposals. Typically, when we do this, we receive anywhere from 2 times to 10 times the number of proposals that we can possibly fund. Certainly, the private sector is looking to step up. As part of Vineyard Wind's bid into Massachusetts, they committed $2 million to workforce training, but certainly funding from the federal government would enable us to not only broaden the training, but accelerate that training, be able to bring in more workers faster into the workforce.
Well, thank you for being here, and I appreciate very much your testimony. It's exciting to see what's happening in Massachusetts, and I think from the stories all of you are telling in so many places, this is such an opportunity. So, Mr. Bennett,